natural intelligence and the divine cannot exist in the way that we talk in the same place as the ego self. Can't. One or the other. Not both. It's like having two masters. Can't have two masters. Doesn't work. Because the ego self is so tenacious. I'm not casting it in a negative light. It's just the way that it is, what we have to contend with. The ego self likes to own everything. It's an owner. It's an owner. This is why we're so fixated with ownership of everything on the level of fundamental society, regular society. It's because the ego that each of us has, the unexamined ego particularly, likes to own everything, wants to own everything, wants to own your experience, wants to own others' experience, and wants to own the world that we're born on or into. So there it is. We carve up our land, we take our little possessions, and we say, this is mine, and I know who I am, and I'm this and I'm that, and you're this and you're that, and pretty soon we've built this entire structure, and it's all owned. And then we haven't got enough, so we want to own something more, or get some of what they have, and so it goes on. And so the ego, the conditioned ego self, in a sense, comes to spirituality because it has to be included in, at least at the outset or the beginning, in the conversation, in the exploration. It says, the divine, I know what that is. That's God. Yeah, that's God. I know what God is. And I think one of the worst errors that we've made in a way as a species, or as ourselves, is to imagine that the ego self, with all of its conditioned fundamentalism when it comes to beliefs, can know God, can even imagine that it knows what the divine is as a descriptive, as a thing. But it does, and many religions are steeped in it, and many cults are steeped in it, and many spiritual teachings are steeped in it. But that's not the path that we're on here. That's not what we're talking about. It's not belief. It's not belief. We can't believe our way into this deeper awakening. We can't just believe our way into openness. We can't believe our way into the kind of presence and openness that are being talked of. So it's a kind of almost a demanding thing, because the divine, the real divine, the natural intelligence, the fragrance that's being talked about, can only really enter when the vessel, the organism, the whole of the us, me, here, you, there, is somehow empty of the very thing it's been filled up with for 50, 60 years. Hence, empty your mind of unexamined beliefs, empty your heart of accumulated grievances, empty your cells of undigested memories, remove the blinkers from your eyes, rip off the band-aid, air your wounds, not so that something can replace all that's been dissolved or emptied, but so that emptiness itself can be the if you like, ground, empty ground. This doesn't make any sense in a way, but it is like that. It is like a garden in a way, like weeding a garden, or having a garden that's got, I mean, I used to be a gardener, and I've walked into a lot of gardens that are just completely run over after 10, 15 years of neglect. And you can't see anything. It's ivy, brambles, weeds. I mean, it has its own sort of beauty, but in terms of planting anything, you know, like a sunflower or a tulip, or, you know, something that you know, that is beautiful in a way. Yeah, we have to follow, you know, you have to follow a certain thing. You have to remove the weeds, tend to the soil. And then as it's, you know, as that's happened, as the removal of weeds has happened, and the removal of the ivy, and the removal of this and the removal of that, and then tend to what's left, which is the watering of kindness, which in that case is water and nutrition, maybe nourishment, fertilizer. So you can plant and something beautiful starts to grow. Is it any different with us, really, as a metaphor? That is the divine. The divine is inside each one, each one. The natural intelligence is in each one, but it can only arise or inform us in the spaciousness, in the silence of emptiness. And that's the task. That's the great task.